In the shadowed annals of history, where the clash of steel echoed through misty mountains and blood-soaked fields, there lived a man who defied the very essence of mortality. Miyamoto Musashi, the greatest warrior Japan had ever known, carved his legend not just with the edge of his sword, but with the unyielding sharpness of his mind. He fought 60 duels to the death, emerging unscathed each time, a phantom of invincibility who met his end not in battle, but peacefully at 62, his spirit unbroken. Yet, beneath the tales of his conquests lay a profound secret, a brutal truth about the frailty of men that he unearthed through a lifetime of solitude and strife. This secret separates the titans from the timid, the predators from the prey. And today, in a world drowning in distractions and delusions, 99% of men are too ensnared by their own weaknesses to grasp it. But if you dare to listen, if you have the courage to confront the shadows within, this revelation could forge you anew. Imagine a boy, barely 13, standing in the pouring rain of feudal Japan, his hands trembling not from fear, but from the raw surge of survival. It was 1597, in the province of Harima, amid the chaos of warring clans where loyalty was as fleeting as cherry blossoms in the wind. Young Musashi, orphaned and adrift, had challenged Arima Kihei, a seasoned samurai from the Shinto Ryu school, to a duel. The air was thick with the scent of wet earth and impending doom. Kihei laughed at the audacity of this scruffy youth, drawing his blade with practiced arrogance. But Musashi, armed only with a wooden bakken, moved like a storm unleashed. One strike, precise and ferocious, felled the man. Blood mingled with mud as Kihei gasped his last breath. That day, Musashi tasted the bitter nectar of victory and the haunting weight of death. By 16, whispers of his name rippled through the samurai circles. He was no longer a boy, but an unstoppable killing machine, a wanderer who sought battles not for glory, but for the forge of self. But here's the layer no ballads sing. Musashi wasn't merely a brute of brawn. He was a predator of the psyche, a student of the soul's darkest crevices. In the quiet hours between duels, he would sit by flickering campfires, dissecting the minds of those he had slain. What fears had gripped their hearts? What insecurities had slowed their strikes? He pored over ancient texts, observed the subtle flinches in a rival's stance, the hesitation in their eyes. A scholar from the University of Tokyo, delving into dusty scrolls centuries later, uncovered this chilling insight. Musashi didn't triumph through superior speed or strength alone. He pierced the veil of human nature, exposing frailties his opponents were blind to. It was this psychological mastery that rendered him invincible. In the twilight of his life, secluded in a cave on Mount Iwato, Musashi penned his magnum opus, the Dokodo, The Path of Aloneness. This slim volume, 21 precepts etched with the wisdom of a lifetime, laid bare the 3 deadly weaknesses that corrode men from the inside out. These aren't mere flaws. They are chains that bind the spirit, addictions that whisper sweet lies until a man is but a hollow shell. When you uncover them, you might see your own reflection staring back, pleading for release. The first weakness, addiction to approval. Musashi warned, "Never seek to be loved by everyone." Centuries before neuroscience mapped the brain's reward circuits, he intuited the trap. Picture a modern man, scrolling endlessly through social media feeds, his heart racing with each like, each comment. That rush? It's dopamine, the same chemical elixir unleashed by narcotics. It starts innocently, A compliment here, a nod there. But soon, like any junkie, you crave escalating hits. Men twist themselves into pretzels for validation, posting filtered lives, chasing fleeting affirmations, surrendering their authenticity for applause. Musashi saw this poison in his era's courtiers, simpering for favor from lords. When you need the approval of others to feel valuable, he wrote, you have given your power away to them. And a man without power is just a shadow. In his youth, after a string of victories, Musashi could have basked in adulation, joining elite schools, or allying with powerful daimyo. Instead, he turned away, wandering as a ronin, masterless and unbowed. He trained in isolation, his worth forged in the anvil of self-reliance, not the fickle mirror of others' gazes. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the jagged peaks of the Japanese Alps, Musashi encountered a group of wandering swordsmen around a shared fire. They boasted of their conquests, seeking his praise. He remained silent, his eyes reflecting the flames. When pressed, he said simply, "A tree does not grow tall by begging the wind for mercy." They mocked him, but in that moment, he felt the liberation of indifference. Today, men chase shadows, virtual likes, workplace nods, becoming puppets on strings. Break free, Musashi urges. Value yourself in solitude, and the world will bend to your unyielding will. The second weakness, fleeing from discomfort. Accept everything as it is, Musashi inscribed, a mantra born from brutal insight. Human nature recoils from pain like a hand from fire. We dodge hard talks, shirk duties, numb ourselves with endless entertainment. Why face the storm when you can hide in the harbor? But Musashi knew strength blooms only in the soil of adversity. A neuroscientist with decades studying brain plasticity once articulated it thus: the mind forges new pathways only when thrust beyond comfort. Avoidance stunts growth, leaving one mentally infantile. Musashi embodied this. After his early kills, guilt and doubt gnawed at him. Not the act, but the ease of it. Instead of retreating, he sought harsher trials, dueling multiple foes, enduring hunger strikes, wandering through blizzards without shelter. Recall the winter of 1604 when Musashi, 20 years old, challenged the Yoshioka clan in Kyoto. The brothers, heirs to a prestigious sword school, sought revenge for his earlier slaying of their kin. The first duel, against Seijuro, the eldest, on a frost-crusted field at dawn. Musashi arrived disheveled, wielding a single sword against Seijuro's two. The clash was swift. Musashi's bakken shattered the opponent's arm, ending the fight without death. But the clan persisted. Days later, facing Denshichiro, the middle brother, in a temple courtyard slick with snow. Denshichiro charged with fury. Musashi sidestepped, striking a blow that felled him fatally. The discomfort mounted, the clan's rage, the whispers of demon. Yet Musashi pressed on. The final confrontation, ambushed by dozens at Ichijoji Temple. Hiding in the underbrush, he emerged like a ghost, cutting through the horde with precision born of endless, uncomfortable practice. He didn't run. He embraced the chaos, emerging stronger, his mind sharpened like his blade. In our age, men cushion life with comforts, binge-watching to escape boredom, ghosting conflicts to avoid unease. Musashi's path? Seek the thorns. Train in the rain. Confront your fears head on. Discomfort isn't the enemy. It's the alchemist turning leaden weakness into golden resolve. The third, most insidious weakness, enslavement to desires. Let go of desire, Musashi commanded. For impulses unchecked reduce a man to beast. Sexual urges, gluttony, thrill-seeking, these are chains disguised as freedoms. How many lives derail on the rocks of unchecked lust? Careers lost to addictions, relationships shattered by infidelity. Musashi transcended this. In his prime, temptations abounded, women drawn to his legend, feasts offered by admirers, yet he chose asceticism, channeling energy into mastery. As long as you are controlled by your impulses, he observed, you are just an animal reacting, not a man acting. Envision Musashi at 29, after vanquishing the Yoshioka, retreating to the wilds of Higo province. Alone in a bamboo grove, the wind whispering through leaves, he battled inner tempests. Hunger clawed at his belly during fasts. Memories of past lovers stirred unbidden. But he meditated, visualizing desires as fleeting clouds, letting them pass without grasp. This discipline birthed his dual sword style, Niten Ichi-ryu, 2 blades as one, symbolizing harmony over chaos. Modern men, bombarded by instant gratifications, porn, fast food, dopamine hits from apps, remain slaves. Musashi's freedom? Mastery over self, turning base urges into fuel for greatness. Yet, these weaknesses were but the gateway to Musashi's deeper forge, the method of forging through solitude. This wasn't mere isolation. It was a deliberate exile from the world's crutches. After his early duels, scarred by the hollowness of victory, Musashi vanished into the mountains. No companions, no lovers, no kin, just the raw confrontation with self. Why this extremity? Because, as he discovered in the echoing silence of caves, a man only uncovers his true strength when no one remains to rescue him. Picture those years. 1612, Musashi, 28, ascending the mist-shrouded slopes of Mount Kimpo. Rain lashed his skin, cold seeped into bones. He built no shelter, ate what the wild offered. Berries, roots, the occasional hunted game. Nights were spent in meditation, staring into the abyss of his soul. Fears surfaced like vengeful spirits, the ghost of his first kill, doubts of his path's righteousness. Loneliness gnawed, a demon whispering of warmth in distant villages. But he persisted, training from dawn to dusk, swinging his sword against imaginary foes, balancing on treacherous rocks, enduring self-imposed trials. In this crucible, he unearthed the 3 inner demons that plague every man. Demon 1, the voice of doubt. It slithers in shadows, murmuring, "You're unworthy. Failure awaits. Success is for others." Musashi heard it after losses in training, when exhaustion mocked his efforts. He countered with relentless action, repeating forms until perfection silenced the whisper. Demon 2, the voice of addiction. You need others to be whole. Solitude is madness. Seek approval. In the quiet, memories of camaraderie tugged, but Musashi severed them, realizing completeness comes from within. Demon 3, the voice of fear. What if rejection comes? What if loss strips you bare? Musashi faced this in visions of defeat, but by embracing it, he dulled its edge. His war against these demons was merciless. Through meditation and discipline, he vanquished them, emerging with a ritual that would define his invincibility, the ritual of daily death. At first light, in the dewy chill of mountain mornings, Musashi would sit cross-legged, eyes closed, envisioning his demise. The sword's bite, blood's warm flow, breath's final rattle. Morbid, profoundly liberating. A cognitive therapist later echoed, "Fear of death roots all terrors. Transcend it, and freedom follows." By dying daily in mind, Musashi lived fearlessly in body. This brutal alchemy transformed him. Returning to the world around 1620, Musashi was a specter of unassailable presence. Opponents quaked before blades crossed, his gaze alone disarmed. In duels, he spared more lives, proving mastery needed no blood. One survivor, a young ronin who challenged him in Edo, recounted, "His eyes were voids, endless, unflinching. I saw a man who had slain his fears, and it terrified me into surrender." From this evolution sprang the 5 laws of invincibility, etched in the Dokodo as beacons for aspiring warriors. Law 1. Embrace loneliness as your supreme teacher. In isolation, stripped of pretenses, you confront your raw essence. No masks, no audiences, just truth. Law 2. Convert discomfort to fuel. Flee it, and atrophy follows. Court it, and power surges. Musashi's scars bore witness. Law 3. Slay emotional dependencies. Approval, love, validation. These leashes weaken, cut them, and stand sovereign. Law 4. Exist as if death has already claimed you. Acceptance liberates, fear chains. Law 5. Dominate impulses. Sexual fire, rage's storm, laziness's lull. Harness them, lest they harness you. These laws culminated in Musashi's supreme test, the 1612 duel with Sasaki Kojiro on Ganryu Island. Kojiro, the Ganryu demon, wielded a nodachi longer than most men tall, his style a whirlwind of death. The challenge was set for dawn, on a windswept beach. But Musashi, ever the mental tactician, arrived 3 hours late. As Kojiro paced the sands, fury boiling into anxiety, Musashi rowed leisurely, carving a wooden sword from an oar. The wood, rough-hewn, symbolized his transcendence, needing no fine steel. When he beached, Kojiro snarled, "Coward, you've dishonored this." Musashi smiled faintly, his calm a dagger. The duel erupted. Kojiro's blade arced like lightning. Musashi parried with wood, splintering but holding. In a blur, he struck Kojiro's skull, ending the legend in seconds. Victory secured, Musashi gazed at the fallen foe, not with triumph, but quiet reflection. He had won without hate, proving his evolution. Post-victory, Musashi's insights deepened. True masculine strength arises not from subjugating others, but self, he wrote. In his final decades, he killed no more, deflecting challenges with wisdom or mercy. Why? He had outgrown the need to prove. Painting, calligraphy, strategy, he pursued arts, a complete man. In solitude, he decoded the secrets of strong men. Secret 1, true strength needs no display. Secure in self, they eschew bravado. Secret 2, patience as a weapon. They bide time, knowing haste betrays frailty. Secret 3, embrace error. Strong egos adapt, weak ones defend illusions. Secret 4, fortify vulnerabilities. Know weaknesses, obsessively mend them. Secret 5, cultivate unpredictability. Patterns invite exploitation. Mystery disarms. Musashi's darkest revelation. Most men compete not to conquer, but to avoid defeat. Prey mindset, defensive, survival-driven. He was predator, aggressive, victory-bound. In duels, while foes guarded life, he claimed dominance. To test resolve, Musashi devised a thought experiment. Envision total loss. Reputation, wealth, health, bonds. Would I remain strong? His yes stemmed from inner fortitude, unshakable by externals. The ultimate truth, strong and weak diverge not in gains, but deprivations endured. Weak crave approvals, distractions, pleasures. Strong thrive without. The paradox. Cease needing, and abundance flows. Detach from approval, earn respect. Shun company, attract alliances. Forgo success, achieve it. Now, the crossroads. Dismiss this, revert to mediocrity, or heed Musashi's call, embark on transformation. You've endured this far, beyond most men's fleeting attention. You're primed. Commit. Inscribe, I accept Musashi's challenge. Public vow ignites change. Embrace the path. Weak seek ease, strong evolution. Solitude's road ends not in isolation, but wholeness. But let us delve deeper into Musashi's early trials, for his legend wasn't born in glory, but in the forge of failure and fire. At 7, orphaned by war's cruel hand, his father, a skilled swordsman, slain in battle, his mother lost to illness. Musashi was raised by an uncle in a temple. The monks taught discipline, but the boy's spirit chafed. He sparred with wooden swords against trees, imagining foes. His first true test came at 13, not just a duel, but a reckoning with abandonment's rage. Kihei's death wasn't clean. Musashi vomited afterward, the metallic tang of blood haunting his dreams. Yet he pressed on, wandering provinces, challenging dojo after dojo. By 21, fame's double edge cut deep. After besting a renowned spearmaster, Tadashima Akiyama, in a rain-soaked forest, dodging thrusts, countering with a branch, he felt emptiness. Victory's high faded, leaving questions. Is this all? Endless killing? This sparked his turn inward. His solitude wasn't romantic. It was visceral agony. In caves, hallucinations visited, ghosts of slain men accusing murderer. He screamed into voids, tears freezing on cheeks. But breakthroughs came, realizing doubt as illusion, addiction as crutch, fear as phantom. The daily death ritual evolved. Initially morbid, it became empowering. He visualized not just end, but legacy. What mark do I leave? This fueled purpose. Returning, his presence shifted dynamics. In tea houses, men averted eyes, women whispered in awe. But he sought no dalliances, channeling libido into creation, authoring strategy texts, sculpting wood. The Kojiro duel, more than tactic. As he carved the ore, waves lapping, he reflected on life's transience. Kojiro's weight eroded resolve. A rival sealed fate. Post-strike, Musashi knelt by the body, murmuring, "Rest, brother. Your strength honored me." Later years, adopting sons, teaching select pupils, his dokodo dictated weeks before death, a final gift. Secrets expanded. Strong men listen more than speak, drawing power from silence. They forgive self-failures, learning without self-lash. Competition's truth. Prey huddle, predators prowl. Musashi's experiment. In meditation, he stripped layers, losing sword, honor, limbs, and mind. Core remained, indomitable will. Paradox in action. Detaching from duel's need, he won effortlessly. Modern parallel. Quit chasing promotions desperately, master craft, and they come. Your journey. Start small. Solitary walks, discomfort challenges like cold showers, impulse fasts. Comment your pledge. Join the forged. Remember, paths end, not loneliness, but self-sufficiency's peace.